Hello and welcome. This is Susan Lopresti, and you are listening to the Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. I am so grateful to have you here with me today, and I hope that listening to this podcast will bring some value to your day. And today I want to talk about creating a strong and healthy you. And if you're like most people, you have more than just a better checkup in mind when you think about losing weight. Perhaps you've been avoiding the mirror because you expect to not necessarily like what you see. Perhaps you don't have the energy to keep up with either your kids or your grandkids or a dog. Whatever triggered your decision to burn pounds, spending some time with your why is essential for strategizing how to stay motivated to lose weight or pursue any health goal. Once you've found your why for living a healthier life, take the time to internalize it by writing down all your reasons from the obvious to the not so obvious and read them daily. I know that sounds like a lot, but read them daily. Ask yourself, how will my life be different on a daily, yearly, and long-term basis if I lose this weight? How much more will I be able to accomplish? How much money will I save on doctor visits and medication? What can my family and I do with that money? How much better will I feel physically and emotionally? One huge benefit of creating a healthier body to live in is that you'll reduce your chances of developing metabolic syndrome, which is a cluster of risk factors that over half of Americans over the age of 40 have been diagnosed with. Metabolic syndrome isn't a disease, but it is a group of risk factors that increase your risk of several diseases. 5 risk factors are considered when diagnosing metabolic syndrome, but only 3 factors need to be present for a positive diagnosis. So they are high blood pressure, high fasting triglycerides. Triglycerides are the end product of digesting and breaking down fats in your food. Low HDL cholesterol, which is the high-density lipoprotein, also known as the good cholesterol. High fasting glucose, insulin resistance, and abdominal obesity. It's also worth noting at this point that having any of the conditions that I just listed can hinder your immune system and its ability to respond appropriately to viruses and other dangers that you encounter. The complications of untreated metabolic syndrome and the conditions that it's made up of are frequently serious and long-term. And here's some information that you should know. People with metabolic syndrome have a risk of heart attack and stroke that is double the risk of people who do not have metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome increases the risk of developing diabetes by 5-fold. If diabetes develops, you may be at risk for eye damage, nerve damage, kidney disease, and the need to amputate your limbs, which is pretty serious stuff. Other issues that may develop include hardening of the arteries, kidney disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and peripheral artery disease. Basically, when your body is operating under less than ideal conditions, like coping with high blood pressure or regulating inadequate amounts of insulin, it doesn't even have enough fight in it to adequately protect itself from outside viruses, germs, and bacteria. Abdominal obesity or visceral fat is the most obvious clue to metabolic syndrome. Again, the risk factor tends to cluster, and visceral fat, which wraps around the abdominal organs, causes insulin resistance. In fact, adipose tissue in obese people is itself insulin resistant, causing a further sequence of metabolic and inflammatory problems. The excess inflammation is what ultimately weakens the body's immune response and reduces its ability to fight pathogens. By now you're probably wondering, what exactly is insulin? Insulin is a hormone made by your pancreas that helps sugar enter your cells to be used as energy. Normally, your digestive system breaks down the food you eat into sugar. However, for people with insulin resistance, cells don't respond normally to insulin, and glucose can't enter the cells as easily. As a result, your blood sugar levels rise even as your body churns out more and more insulin to try to lower your blood sugar. Eventually, the pancreas may wear out from working overtime, and you may no longer be able to produce insulin to keep your blood sugar levels in check. Research has shown that the immune cells that help safeguard the immune system are regulated by metabolic signals that they receive from insulin. Therefore, if your insulin levels are not healthy, your immune system won't work as well as it could be. And everyone has excuses for not living their ideal healthy lifestyle. Here's a couple that you probably heard, or you said yourself. I don't have time. My job doesn't make it possible. I can't afford a healthy lifestyle, which I think is hysterical because I think you can't afford not to. And I don't know how to be healthy. These excuses are common, but also aren't real barriers that stand in the way of you being a healthy person. In reality, your excuses are only based around the habits that you're afraid to break because you feel more comfortable where you are. And isn't that true in so many areas of our life? We don't change because we feel comfortable. Identifying true barriers can be difficult to bring to light because they're often deep-rooted. Feelings like self-worth or lack of self-love and poor mental health can all play a role in stopping you from moving forward with your health goals. And it's important to address these emotions as you set about your wellness journey. All the excuses that I listed are hurdles for sure in creating a healthier lifestyle, but they are not barriers in any definite sense of the word. You are the one responsible for making the decision to move forward or stay stuck where you are. Finding the time for creating healthier habits is always a challenge for people as they get started on their wellness journey. This is because if you're like most people, balancing work and family and self-improvement usually stays on the back burner. And I won't lie, it does take time to implement a healthy lifestyle. But it doesn't have to be a major shift that forces you out of your comfort zone all at once. In order to create time in your already full schedule, stick to baby steps. Plan out grocery lists that include healthier options. Do some mini workouts while you watch TV. Schedule a walk with someone who you would normally sit and talk with. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. By shifting how you spend little pockets of time, you'll begin to make a change that can sustainably keep up with and add to over time. If you're serious about improving your health, and I think you're listening to this presentation, it's important to make it easy for yourself to make good choices. Take a moment to think about what's in your refrigerator and your pantry. Are there healthy options that you could reach for? Are those healthy options something that you actually want to eat? Or do the fruits and the veggies that you buy usually go bad because you reach for a less healthy option instead? When it comes to exercise, do you seek out opportunities to move your body, or do you avoid them at all costs? For example, when you can easily walk somewhere, would you typically opt to drive instead? Every day we're faced with dozens of choices that we can either contribute to our health or take away from it. Fill your pantry with foods that nourish you instead of comfort foods. Plan activities that involve moving instead of sitting around. Before you know it, your lifestyle will shift. Culturally, food has always been tied to emotions and memories. We bake cakes to celebrate and we feast on special occasions. These ties that we have to food create connections and habits that can lead to using food as a crutch when we're feeling down. Take a moment to think about this. When you're feeling stressed, what do you eat? What about when you're feeling sad or sorry for yourself? In situations where your emotions are running high, do you turn to food as a way to comfort yourself? I do not, by the way. When I'm upset or I'm stressed or I'm nervous, the first thing that I lose is my appetite. But everyone is different. So part of your journey involves deciding why you make the food choices that you do. Then making conscious choices to take back that power you've given to food. Making any change in your life is difficult, and it's even more difficult when you don't have support. When it comes to improving your health, it's important that you have a sense of accountability, someone or something to provide you with confidence when you need it, and access to knowledge from someone who's been where you're at right now. In short, having support can make all the difference in overcoming barriers to living a healthy lifestyle. And that's where a health coach truly comes in, to support you, to hold you accountable, and to work through the obstacles that are standing in your way. You know, the ideal concept of body weight is an imperfect one, and it is not indicative of health. Instead of worrying about how to determine your ideal body weight from a formula, shift your focus to health and happiness. Think back to when you felt your healthiest and your happiest. And were you eating well without starving yourself? And if so, make that your goal. Ideal body weight is so much more than the number on your scale. It has to reflect a doable, sustainable lifestyle with a focus on setting your health up to sustain you for the long haul. So, if it comes in a box, a can, a microwavable bowl, You can bet it's loaded with preservatives, additives, and sugar. One healthy or helpful tip to keep in mind is acknowledging the layout of a grocery store. For example, the foods that are found in the middle aisles are often found with ingredients that you'll want to avoid, including added sugars in the form of sucrose and high fructose corn syrup. They lead to increased inflammation and insulin surges that increase the risk of diabetes and metabolic syndrome. What's best is to stick to the perimeter of your grocery store when shopping and start in the produce section. Walk through slowly and look at all the vibrant colors. Notice that everything looks as it does in nature prior to being harvested. Those colors and textures are loaded with life-benefiting nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, and healthy fats. Include complex, unrefined carbohydrates and whole grains as well. Then learn how to build a healthful, energizing diet from these nourishing real foods. Exercise improves your blood values. It increases your testosterone and growth hormones. It decreases depression and the risk of chronic disease, and it boosts energy. And of course, regular exercise can help support your immune system. Lucky for you, your body is designed to move, and all you have to do is activate it. Indulge your inner yearning to experience your body's own strength and endurance by filling your days with activities that you enjoy doing. Take a walk around nature. Dance to music that makes you happy. Lift weights, do yoga, create a monthly challenge for yourself, and work on it a little bit every day. Whatever you do, turn off your inner critic and tap into the gratitude you have for your body and all that it allows you to do. Sleep is nature's nurse. It allows your body and your brain to rest and heal. And you need that time for everything to work at its full capacity when you're awake. Create a ritual around your bedtime. Try to go to bed at the same time every night and wake up at roughly the same time every morning. Avoid sugar and caffeine before bedtime and brew yourself a cup of tea or even warm water instead. Turn off all overhead lights an hour before you go to sleep to prepare your body for rest. Strive for 8 hours of quality sleep. Sleep is truly a crucial component of health. Ensuring there is enough time to recover from the day that has passed, as well as recharging us for what we plan to do tomorrow. The quality of our sleep can affect everything from our immunity to our mood, so sleep tight. Perhaps the most understated of the most simple rules for healthy living is minimizing stress. It's one of life hacks that doesn't fit into a shopping cart and can't be measured in reps, miles, or hours. Stress is, however, the one silent danger that creates leaks in your life, allowing unhealthy habits to sneak in. An after-work drink sounds better than an hour-long workout. A candy bar is so much easier in the moment than sautéing a bunch of vegetables. And sleep is pushed aside when there's a big commission in line, like when you're working on a project or, involved in something. You don't prioritize your rest. And before you know it, you're going against all the rules for healthy living. And the cortisol production set off by stress drives fat straight to your belly, increasing your risk of chronic disease and impairs your metabolism. Prioritize not only minimizing your stress, but also finding healthy and effective management techniques. How do you currently manage your stress? To discuss the subject of staying motivated, we have to circle back to our earlier discussion about finding our why. Staying focused on long-term goals is crucial to staying on track, but so is managing short-term expectations, because when you wake up each morning, you need to know specifically what to do in order to reach those long-term goals, right? This is why it's important to create a plan that you can stick to. Pre-planning a routine sets aside mental space to simply execute the plan instead of worrying about what to do next. And again, part of sticking to this plan is having a support system to turn to when you need a little boost of confidence or accountability. There's a fine line between being health-centric and health-obsessed, and you don't want the latter. Getting too obsessive about what you put into your body and how many calories you burn during a workout will actually create more stress in your body, and your efforts will likely backfire. It's important to remember that whatever you do has to be sustainable and make you feel better about yourself, not worse. Have you had challenges with adopting a healthy mindset when trying to achieve your health goals? You may have dreams of running a marathon or learning to meditate and becoming vegan, but going from 0 to 60 will only lead to defeat. What's the easiest thing for you to focus on today, this week, this month? Is it eliminating processed foods from your diet? If so, then get into a new eating routine until it feels habitual. Is it rekindling a favorite exercise routine? Then focus on that until it's part of your natural rhythm and progress from there. Approach reality with fearlessness. And remind yourself at every speed bump that you're worth the effort of overcoming that challenge. In a society, we've learned to expect high-speed internet, next-day delivery, an instant response to emails and text messages, and it's safe to say that we love instant gratification. Unfortunately, as we discussed, instant gratification when it comes to health just isn't a sustainable way of living. So that being said, prepare for delayed gratification. Don't expect dramatic results in a short period of time, and don't plan for them. If you want to be healthy for a long time, you have to be in it for the long game. And I'm confident that you're up for the task. That's the end of our time here together today, but it's just the beginning of the rest of your journey towards a healthier and stronger you. And I will continue on this talk of that in upcoming episodes. But I also want to remind you that I am available if you have any questions or comments or concerns. you might have about the information that I discussed today or anything else that I have discussed in the past. I'm also prepared to schedule your free health assessment. And you could go to my website and set up an appointment. And you're under no obligation at all to continue. You could go to my website at www.susanlopresti.com. And you could set up a 30-minute health assessment with me. I wanted to also mention to you that my next program of 30 Days Heal to Rejuvenate is starting soon. In the program, I help you to create a healthier and stronger you. And so, until the next time, stay well, be healthy, and be happy. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.